Hi, I'm Mebu Bade. Today I am going to talk to you about health food, the facts and fiction. Back in 1976, 1978, if you remember, if you were around then, there was a big thing about saccharin. The laboratory gave an analysis that overdosage of saccharin in laboratory rats caused cancer. The key word here is overdosage. You gotta listen for these things, okay? My common sense told me overdosage? Overdosage of anything is bad for you. Even water. Try this at home. Drink a couple of gallons of water and see what happens. If you don't gloat and bloat and start feeling real bad, then put a comment over here and tell me, no, that didn't work and it was just fine. But you will feel that. You know, overdosage of water, they use that in interrogating the terrorists. They make them speak, and actually, you've seen this in the movies. A lot of them actually drown in that water. So overdosage of water is bad for you. Does that mean water is bad for you? No, of course not. But this was all about marketing. 2 weeks later, guess who comes into the market? NutraSweet. Big time. Great substitute, for artificial sweeteners. Yada, yada, yada. And NutraSweet has come big into the market. Okay. Saccharin is still used in Europe, and 12 years later, after a big civil suit, they dropped it and they said, this was an overdosage and therefore it is really not a correct analysis. It's really all about marketing. Say, for instance, I have a great product. This is a good substitute for butter. Because butter is expensive, this one is less expensive, and I can, buy maybe twice as much of margarine and use it. Now, I have this product, but I need to market it. And I really can't go too far because butter is big in the market. So what do? I have set $10 million for advertising budget. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a laboratory and say, okay, here's $2 million. Give me an analysis that butter is bad for you. Kaboom. 2-3 months later, it's in the market. Butter causes cholesterol, so don't eat butter. And guess what? Few weeks later, Parquet is big time in the market. A great substitute for butter. Actually, margarine was put in the market during the Great Depression. It's got edible plastic molecules in it, which really you cannot even digest. So, food value wise, margarine really isn't any good. Now, try this. I eat ghee a lot. Okay, I cook my eggs in ghee, and you'll find a lot of sites on YouTube. They'll show you how to make ghee from butter, and ghee is good because it cooks at a higher flash point. It has a higher flash point, so it cooks at a higher temperature than butter, and therefore it gives you a better cooked egg than you would cook in butter. And the good thing is, when you make ghee out of butter, it removes the milk solids. So in other words, if you are lactose intolerant, this is going to be good for you because all that is out of there, and the food tastes good because it tastes a little bit nutty. Same thing happens with oil. They talk a great deal about olive oil. You got to use olive oil only because it is good for you, it is low in cholesterol, yada yada yada. And again, a lot of my family and Indian friends, they started using olive oil in cooking Indian food. You know what? It doesn't have the same flavor or the taste. Another thing about olive oil, it has a lower flash point in cooking than does peanut butter. So, I mean, peanut oil. So, if peanut oil, you use peanut oil for cooking, then you are going to get a lot better flavor out of the food. Also, peanut oil adds nutty flavor to your food, and that is the specialty about Indian food. So if the Indian food is not cooked in peanut oil, then you are going to lose that taste of Indian flavor. Another thing, I'll give you an example. During Thanksgiving, yes, they cook the turkey, they sell the oil. Do you know which oil they sell? Peanut. It's the peanut oil. You cook the turkey in peanut oil because it has that higher flash point. It cooks at a higher temperature, and your turkey comes out a lot better because, again, it's got that nutty flavor to it. So you gotta listen to what these marketing ploys are all about and what they are trying to tell you. The Italians might have pushed for the olive oil because they needed to sell that olive oil in the market, and now olive oil is good when you have it in salads. You can dip your bread or anything, the cookies, and have it directly, and it tastes good. But to cook in olive oil, yes, it's good for the Italian dishes. It gives it that typical Italian flavor or the Greek flavor. But for Indian food, no, you got to use this one. There are some other examples that I can give you. Tea. They put green tea in the market, right? Green tea was good, it's great, antioxidant, and yada yada yada. Well, Gautam Buddha drank black tea, and he was so healthy. But that's besides the point. It's not the tea that made him that healthy, okay? But the tea did keep him awake, and he was able to meditate for longer periods of time. The black tea that comes from India, it also has antioxidants, and it does have another joke that read about that was it's good because it's got tannic acid, and tannic acid is good for your tan. No, don't believe that, okay? I was just kidding. But yes, black tea, or even if you want to cut it with a little milk or cream and sugar, it's good. Okay, and it's good. It's the antioxidants in it that works for you. Recently, you heard about coffee being good for you. Coffee. They said coffee is good for you because it cuts cholesterol. Remember what happened to the stocks? The stocks for coffee went up because everybody was buying coffee to cut the cholesterol. 2 weeks later, the news media comes back and says, no, actually coffee is bad for you because, it gives you high blood pressure. Now, each food has its value and place. Coffee is good if you got low blood pressure because it helps to increase that pressure in your body. But if you got high blood pressure, then no, it is really not good. So you got to do your research and find out what these people are really saying. Now, when they announced it was bad for you, the coffee stocks went back down. And then 2 weeks later, the media comes back and says, no, it is actually good for you. I mean, it can increase your pressure and therefore it's bad for you, but also it does cut cholesterol. You got to decide for yourself what you want to eat. Listen to your body. Your body says, I don't want tea, don't have it. If it says, I don't want to cook in oil, don't. If you don't want to eat anything sweet and the body says, nah, I think I better stay away, listen to your body. Don't eat it. But if you need it, the body will say, something sweet. I gotta have a cake. I gotta have a sinful dessert. Your body is in need of sugar. It is asking for it. Go eat it and enjoy it. Eat and drink and be merry. Enjoy life. That's what it's all about. Another example I want to give you is about eggs. I got egg substitute. I need to market it. What am I gonna do? You got it. You go to the laboratory and say, hey, give me a analysis. Here's $2 million. I want to know that eggs are bad for you. Give me that analysis. What happens? 3-4 months later, eggs are bad for you because it's got cholesterol. Now do this research on aarp.com. About 6 months ago, they had an article that said the eggs are good for you, and especially the egg yolk is good for you, especially for the women, because it cuts down on certain kinds of fatty acids in your body. Imagine that. I always eat eggs for my breakfast. I always have it, and orange juice, I never miss breakfast for any reason. I mean, if I'm going to start my work early, I'm going to have my breakfast early. And nothing is going to keep me away from that. Anyways, so eat, drink, and be merry. Listen to your body. Listen what the hype is all about. And then make your decision whether you want to eat it or you don't want to eat it, or you want to use it or you don't want to use it. All right? Thank you very much, and you all have a great day. See you next time around.